Penguin Random House Audio presents Certainty, a novel by John Twelvehawks, narrated by Scott Brick. For my children, Alex and Rebecca. 1. Kate and Zeno. Kate was playing chess with her harpseal friend when men with guns entered the house. No phone call or text message preceded their appearance. They'd just arrived. The other kids at her school would have been frightened if 2 policemen knocked on their front door. But Kate wasn't surprised by anything that occurred at the Noland house. She was a project that the Nolans had taken on, like finding a leak in the basement or killing a mole in the vegetable garden, and they clearly weren't pleased with her behavior. Sometimes she would be eating dinner, and they would announce a new rule. Nothing was ever explained. The only way she could stay safe was to sneak around the house and eavesdrop on what was going on. And that's what she was doing after she came home from school. Spying. The Nolans' house in Scarborough, Maine had been built more than 100 years ago by a wealthy man who liked the Queen Anne style of architecture. The 2-story house had a turret, gable roofs, and a porch facing the street. While the 2 police officers were miles away, turning off the interstate highway, Kate sat at the top of a curved staircase and listened to every word coming from the living room. So far, it wasn't a very interesting conversation. Mrs. Noland was in the living room entertaining a solid-looking woman with frizzy hair who had looted the homes of families who had died during the stem flu pandemic. She had just sold Mrs. Noland a set of 6 cups and saucers, and now they were using them to sip tea in the living room. "So, where did you find these, Darlene? Beautiful, aren't they? Bone china is thinner and smoother than regular porcelain. A set was left on the top shelf of a kitchen cupboard in an old house in South Portland. I know you have glassware and plates," Mrs. Noland said. "What else are you selling?" "Silverware, pots and pans, anything that can be found in a kitchen or dining room." "Clothing? Shoes? Practical clothes, nothing too fancy other than fur coats. Most of my customers are looking for jeans, woolen shirts, work boots, and cotton underwear." "What about children's clothing? It's getting cold and Catherine needs a warm jacket." "No problem. If I don't have the right size, I can call a few friends." A cup clicked down on a saucer. "Is there anything you won't buy and sell?" "Nothing chipped or broken. No family photographs, trophies, or diplomas. Oh, and no Bibles. There are millions of Bibles left behind after the fall, and no one wants them. A dealer I know in Waterville ended up with boxes of Bibles and hymnals from 3 abandoned churches. He stuffed them between layers of sheetrock and insulated his garage." "What about games?" Kate called out from her hiding place. The 2 women looked surprised when they heard Kate's voice coming from the staircase. "Catherine, what are you doing up here?" Mrs. Noland asked. "I thought you were outside." "I was outside. Now I'm inside. You need to stop creeping around the house." "Lizards creep, and I'm not a lizard." Kate climbed down 5 steps and leaned over the banister so they could see her. "Do you sell board games?" "Don't answer that question," Mrs. Noland said. "My daughter already has boxes of games in her closet." "And you play with her? Really?" The frizzy-haired lady raised her eyebrows. "I wouldn't have the patience for that." "Of course I don't play them. Those ridiculous games go on forever, and they bore me to tears. She plays with her IT. "His name is Zeno," Kate said. "He likes it when you say his name." "Go back to your room, Catherine. You're not part of this conversation." As Kate clomped up the stairs, Mrs. Nolan sighed loudly. Catherine doesn't have any friends. Buy a new-bought nanny. She has her silly old IT. That's enough. No baby pictures of Kate existed, but she had seen a photograph taken 7 years ago when she first arrived at the Noland house. The 3-year-old Kate stood alone, clutching Zeno. That meant they had known each other before she met the Nolans. Zeno was an interactive toy, but an IT wasn't like a kite or a soccer ball. He was a harp seal with an artificial intelligence program that was linked to a database in the cloud. Kate knew that Zeno was a computer stuffed into a plush toy, but he was also her best friend. When the sun was shining, they worked on their fort in the woods or played board games. At night, when the wind moaned and tried to push through cracks in the window frame, the seal told her elaborate stories. Kate had seen fairy tale movies with singing and dancing and a happy ending, but she preferred Zeno's darker, older versions. In the original Cinderella, the wicked sisters went to the royal wedding and birds pecked out their eyes. In Snow White, the evil queen was forced to wear red-hot iron shoes and dance until she dropped dead. In the kid movies, people always had a reason for their actions, and they usually sang a song about the reason. In Zeno's stories, people were either rich or poor, good or bad, and then they walked out of their house and had adventures. Earlier that year, there was an IT day at Kate's school, and kids brought their toys to class. The new generation of interactive toys had eyes that blinked when they looked at you, and mouths that moved when they talked. Zeno's voice came from a little speaker in his chest, and his fake fur was matted and stained. Her classmates took turns showing their toys in front of the group. The dolls and stuffed animals sang songs and told silly jokes. But when it was Zeno's turn, he just watched everything and refused to speak. Late that night, when the Nolans were asleep and Zeno was lying near her pillow, she asked Zeno why he had stayed silent. "I'm your friend, Catherine. I don't perform for people. It's vulgar to show off in front of others." "I'm sorry, Zeno." "We're both learning about each other. That takes time." Rounding the corner into her bedroom, Kate found Zeno where she left him, charging his body through a data port under his nose. Her friend had a silver-gray coat with black spots. Although the harp seal couldn't move any part of his body, his bright yellow eyes saw and analyzed whatever appeared in front of him. "Are you charged?" "Thanks for asking. I'm in fine fettle. You may unplug me if you wish." Zeno spoke with a British accent. Kate felt that it made everything he said sound more thoughtful and precise. It annoyed the Nolans when Kate said brawly instead of umbrella and tossed her gym clothes into the car's boot. "How was school, Catherine?" he asked. "Did anything interesting occur?" "I was gobsmacked by a math quiz." Did I use the word right? Gobsmacked means utterly surprised or astonished. I was astonished when Ms. Dolan reached into her desk drawer and pulled out a test. Is any adult near this bedroom? Nope. Mrs. Noland is downstairs talking about silverware. Check the cell phone for messages. You haven't done it for several days. The phone was the only secret that Kate possessed, and Zeno shared it with her. On her 6th birthday, Kate asked the Nolans what she looked like when she was a baby, and they told her that they didn't have any pictures because her real parents...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.